Well, today's another day. Puss in Boots is doing her thing, walking around, and it's still about this 1933 5-window coupe. Yep. She now she wants me to pet her. And I wonder if she'll let me pick her up now and introduce her closer. Let's see here, Kitty. Oh, yes, she will. Yep, Puss in Boots. She wants attention. Yeah, in the morning it's even more so. She'll get a little aggressive, go up on her back hind legs, grab me with her two front paws with the little nail sticking out, make sure she grabs on so I can continue to pet her. Yep, there she is. So I received yesterday from the client a Hydro Boost set up for brake and power steering. So I just set it in there to see what the weight content was going to be and see if I'm going to add any additional support, which I believe I'm going to. I think it's safe to say that it's probably recommended, knowing that it is it's got fiberglass there, but there is some steel structure behind it, so I'm not worried about that part of it not being conducive to the setup. But at the same time, I just got to be safe and be sure we're talking about power brakes and power steering, and that's the last thing we want to lose, especially the brakes. Power steering is one thing, but it's a major no-no when it comes to brake failure. So me and Puss in Boots is going to head over. Yep, she just did a little scoop. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Yep, there it is. Yep. I'll zoom in a little bit better. Yeah, there is plastic there, but let me see. I'll take you around the side. I don't want to take the plastic off. I want to keep it covered. And there's the kit that comes with it. All the hookups, different fittings, and instructions even. I'll even look those over. Hardware. And actually, I'm going to have to change out the stud on this side over here because it definitely doesn't come through far enough. This one comes through plenty far, but it even comes with an adjustable proportioning valve. I really like that. That's nice. It's a nice setup, but it's got a little weight to it. It's not heavy, like you can't lift it, but I think I'm going to come up with something to maybe come off of over here where this is bolted up to the bracket for the proportioning valve, and knowing that the steering column comes down here, I might make a nice little fancy brace depending on the engine and so forth. You know, I'm going to wait for the engine to be in there because we're talking about headers and so forth, so I just got to be sure. I don't want to go through all the trouble of making something that's really nice and can't use it. So I got in there and I took out the old setup, which is pretty much similar to what they sent. Yep, pretty much similar right there. And the rod that sticks to on that unit right there there's a, just like this one, it's threaded so you can adjust it. You know, you can't have the rod be pushing in too far. It's got to be set just right so it applies the correct pressure all the way through. That's how all master cylinders work, whether they're boost power by a pancake looking thing, but the amount of pressure going in, you can't have the pressure in it already starting to push. It has to get just right. So that's going to be one of the things I'll be setting up, but I just wanted to see how it fit, how it felt. Bolts up there just fine. And the whole receiving side of it is just fine as well. So I figured I'd get started with that. But I'm going to go back to what I was doing. Oh, I discovered something else. I think I might have mentioned in the past about the latch for the trunk deck. And I just took it off a moment ago. And the reason why they didn't have anything hooked to it on the inside and no latch is because it's locked, and the key did not come with it. They probably never got a key. It is over 90 years old, and the key that comes with the steering column, that definitely doesn't work. So we'll figure something out for this, but we definitely going to get something to work because we want it to latch. But that is the reason why there was no catch latch, nothing attached to the other side of this, because it's permanently locked. And actually, the client needed a new steering column. I'm not the one that took the old one apart. My assistant that the client wanted to help with the engine and transmission, I had the helper / other worker on this car investigate the steering column, because I know all about these steering columns because I took 75 Cadillac, oh, it's not over there, Cadillac Eldorado for that car apart, and that was a treat. So the new one is in here, so I am sure that it's probably going to have to be painted. Let me see. I opened it just to see it. Ooh, I think it's chrome. Ooh, it is chrome. Golly gee Whitakers. It's chrome. I wonder if the column is actually chrome. Yeah, it is. Hot diggity dog diggity, I can say it. Alright, this is going to look really nice in there. So I'm going to have to come up with something special, guaranteed, because I am going to mount off of it. I don't want to attach it to the fiberglass because that panel, not that it's weak, but eventually with the vibration, it'll end up creating a crack, because as you can see, if you can see, you know, it moves in and out. So attaching it to the steering column would definitely behoove the situation. So that's going to be the plan. Putting that back, I'm going to take that back out, put it back in the box along with this stuff here, and get back to sanding. Yeah, the thing I love doing so much. Sand. It's what's holding me up and finishing cutting and buffing the top and that stuff over there. I need a break from sanding. I don't want to get all twisted and sanding this thing, knowing that there's a lot to do. So far so good. So in the meantime, when something else comes along, and maybe when the rest of it is all sanded, I'll show it. But everything I primed, I have to sand again. And if it needs more primer when it's all said and done, like I pointed out, the corner of that hood needs more primer. But when this is all done, I want to get the body all sanded for the first time, completed, and then I'm going to go back to the primed areas, sand them, and then go from there. And this way, once that's all done, I can take this apart, take all the fenders and the running boards off. And I think before I take the running boards off, I'm going to see if I can make a support for underneath there to help carry the weight, just in case somebody steps on it. Maybe a child getting in that the client might want to take for a ride and really can't reach in there, and if they step on it, they'll probably crack it because they're not made to be stood on, only because there's no bracing underneath it. But I'll come up with something for both sides, not just the passenger side, but for the driver's side. But that'll be just before I take it all apart. So lots to do. Got to get her done, so this way I can get the other projects moving and get them done as well. So stand by. All right. Well, it's actually the next day, and I'm back. I know I have a hat on, but I'm trying. Yesterday, I used the new mic setup, and it sounded okay, just like the other one. But it sounds like maybe I'm too close to it because I was putting it here. So I figured, I seen other guys put it on their cap. So I figured, let me give that a try and see what happens. Puss in Boots is going back and forth. I don't know. She's all confused. But anyhow, I said I would get back to you when all the stuff that wasn't sanded for the first time is done. And actually, that's all done. And then I started sanding the primed areas. I just kept going and going and going. So I think I'll show you. Yep. And there's Puss in Boots. Let me see, zoom in a little bit better. Yep, she's eating away on her little cat stand. Funny cat. Alright, so even the door jamb is done on this side, on both, not only the door but also the jamb itself on the car. I sanded all the primered areas up on top, and certain things I will do a little primer again, like right here. There's a spot right there I need to hit. Nothing major, but it's moving along. Yep, I have two spots I want to fix because they got little cracks, so I cleaned it out, weeded out one here. This one is a little bit bigger. So not only am I going to put like a fiberglass filler on this side, I'm going to add to the inside as well. And the same thing with over here. And Miss Puss in Boots says, yep, that's the way to do it. She's coming over for me to pet her again. Yeah, she's constantly wanting me to pet her. And I say, well, I got to get to work, kitty. Yep. There she goes. She's happy. So, all is well around here. And to fix them, oh, I think I missed a spot. Yeah, the side of this, because of the little body line coming out. So I'm going to have to hit that. And today I should have all the primed areas all sanded up. I didn't hit the front fenders yet with the sandpaper, but I was working on the body. And I could see where I ended right there. So, for as time consuming as it is, and as boring it is to sand, especially everything by hand, the flat spots I can use the DA. The same thing with the hood. And hopefully, by the end of the day, the areas that I need to add primer to again, I'll do that and have it done. And even got to sand the small pieces that I made. Excuse me. And that piece. Sorry, excuse me again. But gotta make sure I sand that too. But I don't know what else I could show next. So when I am done sanding it, it'll probably be the final touch-up before I start taking it apart. And at that point, if that's the case, then I'll end up ending the video before I start taking it apart, because then it coming apart will be another segment of this car. So I'm going to put you back on the stand, and I'm going to get to work on it, and then once all of it is sanded, I'll chime back in and show you the progress. So stand by. I'm back, and there's a couple of things I said I was going to do, and I want to show you. I didn't forget about the one, it was really important. So the first one I took care of was the two cracks, that one there and that one there, and I did fiberglass it on the back side on both of them, help add a little bit more support. And then the other thing that is important, well for me anyway, is that I drilled the two holes like I said I was going to do in the flat part of the hinge that mounts to the trunk deck. And I have the right size, I'm using finish nails that fit in there nice and snug on both sides. So once I take this trunk deck off, I'm able to line it back up by using those two nails. It makes it easier when you're going to put it back together and line it up, and if you end up in the same spot that you did before you took it apart, then it should be no problem when you close the deck and not have to worry about hitting anything. So that's the reason why I've done that. So moving on to the next thing. Stand by. I'm back, and I want to show you a little bit of what just took place. Earlier, I was sanding an area that was right there. And before I know it, when I took the air to it, the air to it, it just started to peel again. All that paint started coming off, or whatever finish that was there. So I took a picture of it. It'll be on my Instagram page, and you'll be able to see just how much from here to here, down to here, and about up to here, it all blew off. And then I took the scraper and got rid of it, and then I had to blend it in. So another spot that had to be fixed, and that's fiberglass no less. But I believe I got everything sanded, even the mirrors, the little stands for the headlights, the jambs, both sides, and the rest of the car. And the only thing left that has to be sanded is the trunk jamb and the hood on both sides, the underneath and the top. So I'll do that tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry. Those pieces there have to be sanded, and I'll have to do a little touch-up on the primer and this nose piece. But I guess the core of the car is sanded and ready for a couple of touch-ups on primer, like there, and a couple of little spots, and then along the bottom here after this is sanded. So I'm glad I was able to accomplish what I wanted to as far as the car. And that this way, tomorrow, it all should be finished as far as sanded and sprayed with some primer. And then I'll have to go back and sand those little spots. I'll be having help tomorrow, so I'm going to take the trunk deck off tomorrow and set that up so I can do the jamb and finish sanding the jamb of the hood. And then I'll start, one other thing I'm going to start to do is I'm going to try to make a support that can bolt off the frame and be able to support the running boards. I want to try to do that for the client, just in case someone forgets that you're not to stand on them. And I think by doing that, it'll be like a precaution. So I'll be doing that tomorrow first before I start to disassemble all this and get that off. But first, got to finish sanding those things, and those things, and I'll be good to go. So until tomorrow, I'll see you then. So stand by. Okay, I'm back. It's the next day, and pretty good progress so far, considering the half a day has gone by. And having help, we actually took the steering assembly out, the steering box. We removed the exhaust. We cut it where they welded it, but we didn't cut all the way through. We just cut the outer perimeter, because where they welded it, it would be sleeved. Well, actually, they only stuck it in probably 3/8 of an inch, half inch. So it's a good thing I did it that way. I want to be able to sleeve more of it together and then put a clamp around it, and it will not be a permanent weld, because it was welded from the front, from the collector, right on onto the back. And I'm not a big fan of that, but that's what they did, and that's fine and dandy. So we got the exhaust out of there, the steering box out of there, and we did something else. Oh, got the hood off, the trunk deck off. I needed a hand with that, so that got off safe and sound. So, yeah, those three things. So that worked out well. And so the rest of the time is going to be spent sanding the centerpiece, the hood, and I forgot to mention, this monster. Sanding this is going to be a treat. Trying to get in between all these rails right here. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm so looking forward to doing that. Yeah, and it won't be yellow anymore. It's going to be black. And the perimeter of this here that kind of shows the way the centerpiece is, that will remain yellow, along with this, looks like a number right here, that will also remain yellow, and the rest of it will be black. That is the plan for that. And we also decided, the client, after I ran something by the client and what they thought, originally we spoke of, because the front third of the frame would have to be painted because it's exposed, and we're going to paint it the same color as the car. And then the tail piece, about a quarter of it, from where you'll see inside the wheel well, as well as where they notched out for the license plate, there's a section of the frame that shows up that would have had to been painted as well. So instead of it being yellow, I expressed, I believe, that a gloss black would really set this thing off, because there's also going to be black piping that they have in here, and that separates all the pieces, all the fiberglass pieces. That's going to be black. We're not painting it yellow. That it would really, bring the color all the way through from the front to the back. The engine's going to be black. The transmission's going to be black. So I think that'll work out perfect, because the front axle is chrome, and also part of the steering is also chrome. So with that nicely cleaned up and polished up, that chrome will really pop more off of the black than it would the yellow. So that's the plan, and that's the scoop on that. And I guess we can just do a walk around to show you the things. And this is where I have the front centerpiece. That has to be sanded along with that crazy piece. But to give you a look-see, because I was going to have to go at least to where the cross member is, and that's like a full third, if not almost half, of the frame. And then back here, like I'm mentioning, because this is sitting on the axle, so the body is where it would be because it's lifted. So you would see more of the frame in there, and it's not finished nice. It's got a yellow on it, but it doesn't look good. And then back here, what I was talking about, this is metal, so they cut this out, notched it the way it is, so there's the frame. Now there's not a lot exposed, but when you look down, that whole piece going through there, you could see it. So that's a quarter. So if you got a half and a quarter, that's 3/4 of the frame. You might as well just do the whole thing at that point, because I got to clean it anyway, and then just paint the components. And actually, I will paint the drive shaft. That has to be done. So that's that. You can see the trunk deck is off, and I will finish prepping just the edge here and a little bit of this. None of this will be prepped, and I'm going to have to cover it, because whatever fabric or material that's in here, I can't have it as to where when I'm spraying the air, blow it and dirt come out of there. That would just ruin everything. So this will be covered off, except for about an inch, just to make sure that when the cover that was on here, the material that they used to cover this, make sure that enough color goes in there so it looks finished all the way around. And then I can go in there and finish prepping and sanding back in there, get that cleaned up, and have it ready to do what needs to be done. Those rags were there so that if for some reason the weight shifted towards the body, it wouldn't crush our fingers, nor would it do any damage to the body. I do that a lot with hoods. If I'm taking them off by myself, I put a lot of padding behind here. I didn't need a lot this time, but enough. So that's that. I'm going to go back to sanding, so the little bit of priming that has to be done, I can do it and finish it off. Put some boots of grease. Here she comes. I tried to feed her. She didn't want to stay up there. Now she's working her way back up there. So I don't know what the difference is from 2 minutes ago to now, but she's going to jump up there. Maybe she'll stretch first and stick her fingernails in the carpeting. Oh, nope, she just leaped right up. See that? So I don't know what the difference was. I picked her up and put her there, and she didn't want to stay there. But that's okay. She's finicky. She's a cat. and she's female, which is fine. That's right, I said it. So, in going forward, I gotta say, this is going to end this part of the video, this segment, and I'll get to figure out if this sounds better than the prior of having it on my shirt. And hopefully it does sound better, because then I guess every time I'll have to wear a hat when I'm filming. It's not very comfortable for me. I don't want it getting in the way if I'm underneath the car. But it's going to end this segment. I do appreciate people watching. Hopefully I get more subscribers, just like everybody else asked. Give me a thumbs up, make a comment, and hope for the best. And more segments are going to come out on this car. And the transformation it's going through, it's going to be really nice. And I know so far the client is really happy about it. And I'll be happy to get it all wrapped up and finished and give it back, so that another one can come in and I can do the next thing to the next vehicle. But until then, try to get something done, make something happen. And till the next segment, have a good one.